How does working distance impact macro lenses? Imagine trying to capture a tiny insect or a delicate flower up close. The distance between your camera and your subject can make a big difference in how your photo turns out. That's what working distance is all about. It's the space between the front of your macro lens and the subject at the closest focus point. This distance is a key factor in macro photography because it affects how you compose your shot, how you light your subject, and even how comfortable you are during the shoot. The focal length of your macro lens largely determines the working distance. Longer focal length macro lenses, like 100mm or 200mm, give you a greater working distance. That means you can stay farther away from your subject while still capturing life-size images. For example, a 100mm macro lens might let you be about 10 inches away from a butterfly, while a 35mm lens might requiring you to get just a few centimeters from a tiny flower. This extra space is helpful when photographing skittish subjects or working in tight spaces. Shorter focal length macro lenses, such as 35 or 50mm, have shorter working distances. You need to get very close to your subject to get the same magnification. This can be tricky if the subject is sensitive or if you are working in a small area. For example, photographing a coin or a small flower might requiring you to be almost touching the object, which can sometimes scare away insects or cause shadows from your camera or hands. Working distance also influences how your background looks. When you use a longer focal length, your background appears more compressed and less distracting. It's easier to control the lighting because you have more space to position your lights and reflectors. With a shorter focal length, the background can seem cluttered or distracting, and your camera or lens might block your light sources, making it harder to get even lighting. Choosing the right macro lens depends on what you want to photograph and where you'll be shooting. If you're photographing insects in the wild, a longer focal length with a longer working distance is best. It keeps you from disturbing the animal and gives you room to set up lights. If you're working on flat objects like coins or flowers in a small space, a shorter lens might be more practical, even if it means getting closer to your subject. Working distance also affects focusing speed and ease. Many modern macro lenses have internal focusing mechanisms that can change the effective working distance at different magnifications. Sometimes this makes focusing faster and easier, but it can also slightly shorten your working distance compared to older lens designs. So, it's good to check the specifications before buying. In the end, working distance impacts how close you need to be to your subject, how you light it, and how you compose your shot. It's a vital part of choosing the right macro lens for your style and subjects. Balancing the need for magnification with the practicalities of your shooting environment will help you get the best results in macro photography.